Nearly all of Arizona is currently under drought conditions. However, improving the infrastructure in place could make it easier for businesses and residents to conserve the limited water we have in the state. To tell us more, we welcome Sean Bradford, the Senior Vice President of Regulated Water at EPCOR Utilities. Sean, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's define, we know what infrastructure is, specifically water infrastructure. What are we talking about?
So if you think about the Arizona economy and all we've done to bring in, say, aerospace, advanced manufacturing, that relies on water. So you need to move that water from its source to where these customers are based. So for me, it's drinking water wells, water storage facilities, certainly pipelines. There's tens of thousands of miles of pipe that run across Metro Phoenix to deliver that water to these customers.
So I'm most curious about how much of infrastructure, we're talking about major projects here, how much of it is about improving older equipment? I mean, in a small example, when our plumbing gets old in our homes, we have to replace it. Sometimes we just have to update it. Are we talking about brand new infrastructure, replacing, a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. And I think for the Valley, it's really where the growth is occurring. So in the far West Valley, where we've got a lot of service territory, or in Santan, a lot of the infrastructure replacing is to serve new customers. If you look in the Sun Cities, say, we also serve Sun City, that infrastructure has been in the ground since the 1960s. We're in a process now of replacing and renewing all of that infrastructure. So it's a mixed bag, but it's important to focus not only on meeting new growth demands, but making sure our existing infrastructure is in good working condition.
So this just makes me think of, we've read all the headlines and think about tariffs and whatnot. How much could that affect what needs to be done in terms of immediacy, in terms of whether it's the supply chain or cost of things? Do you have to keep an eye out for that sort of thing?
Absolutely, and we're trying to get in front of this. So we're looking at like annual capital plans, and we're ordering equipment early in the process. We're going out and getting approvals internally within the organization and placing these long lead items, things like motors and pumps. They used to take 6 to 12 months. They can take up to 24 months now.
Wow, 24 months, really? Oh my gosh, okay. Let me consider some of this. Again, in the intro, I had to do a little bit about the drought, water shortages that are potential, conservation, which is important as well. How much does all of this fit together in a big package in terms of what you're trying to accomplish? Like when I say water infrastructure needs to be improved, can you order it for me? Is there a list of, okay, this is the top priority based on that? Water savings is the most important thing, or something else? How would you rank these?
The good question, and I think the most value, the biggest bang for the buck is making sure you manage your water loss. So again, we move water through a series of pipes into a customer's house or a business's property, and along the way you can have some leakage. So it's about monitoring your infrastructure, going on and proactively replacing it. And you can actually use technology now. We use AI to find, in our Santan district, you used artificial intelligence to find a leak that had been occurring for over 10 years at a rate of 1 million gallons of water per day.
You're making me wow again. Oh my gosh.
1 million gallons a day.
Yeah. And how big an area are we talking about?
So it was a single pipe that ran underneath an irrigation district. So you had an irrigation canal running water over the top of it. And if you tried to listen to it and you use something called acoustic leak detection, you're essentially listening for the water to leak out of the pipe. We couldn't hear it, but when we fed the data into artificial intelligence, it pinpointed the location within about 10 feet, and we fixed it within a day.
You answered my other question. I would say, how long did it take to fix that? So let's think about when it comes to collaboration. I think there's competition among cities, among communities when it comes to let's try to attract the next business. But when it comes to this sort of thing, I think back to the old days when Central Arizona Project came into effect, and there was a combination, it is as nonpartisan as one could get. So without going into the political realm specifically, is this a case where we do have EPCOR trying to work with other cities, even cities it may not currently serve? Is there more collaboration going on?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the easiest thing I can point to is we all have mutual aid agreements with each other. So in an emergency, if the city of Surprise or the city of Peoria has an issue, we'll roll our trucks, we'll provide our equipment, even our materials. We'll have spare pipes or spare pumps in storage. We'll actually provide those to those communities, and they'll do the same for us.
Really? Okay. And this is one of those things where is individual basis, or is it sort of a group effort?
It's individual basis, but we certainly proactively reach out to all the communities that we serve, and all the communities are adjacent to us, and we work on these mutual aid agreements all the time.
I want to ask you again about, tariffs sort of gave my question away on this one, but cost is important. There has been in the past where certain projects were supported federally, certain projects were supported locally. Obviously, there's private. How much of public-private partnership could we see when it comes to this as we try to improve the infrastructure going forward?
Well, you want a regional approach first. So you want to make sure that you're building larger infrastructure that serves multiple communities instead of having each community build their own piece of infrastructure. That's just a lot more cost effective. But then you also need to balance what is this infrastructure going to serve? If it's going to serve new growth, you want to make sure that new customer coming in pays their fair share. Some of that cost should be shared by existing customers that benefit from this new infrastructure or this better technology or better improved piece of equipment, but it needs to be equitably distributed.
So either for people who have lived here for a long time or those who are new here, what makes Arizona, particularly the desert, unique when it comes to being innovative, when it comes to dealing with some of these things? We've all heard that Phoenix itself or the valley is unsustainable. And, you know, people, when it reaches 120 in August, they might think that's real. But then at the same time, we wouldn't have grown as much as we have since World War II. How do you balance all that?
Well, the metric that we always like to point to is that the state of Arizona is using essentially the same amount of water today in 2025 as you did in the 1950s. So you think about the population boom that's occurred since 1950. We've gone from a state with about 1 million people to probably north of 8.5 million people, and we're essentially using the same amount of water. That's just proactive management of our groundwater supplies. We have replenishment obligations, so we're not only pumping groundwater out, but we're replenishing what we use. And then we've got much better control, and we've worked really closely with the agricultural community. They're being much smarter in how they irrigate their crops.
That's important to follow up an agricultural community, because that's one that comes up a lot as the agricultural community, farmers, are they going to have to make more sacrifices? Can I ask you about sacrifice? What is the balance there? Is it equal, or is it the idea that actually residential use is much lower, so there's less of that?
So when you have an acre of agricultural land and it converts to homes, by definition, that's going to use less water. So an acre of houses use less than an acre of crops. So that's kind of organically happened in the Phoenix Valley. But the communities that grow a lot of agriculture, like look down in Yuma, they've really added technology. They've used controls, SCADA, automated systems to better manage how they water their crops.
I want to ask you about conservation, because it's one of those things that came up in a panel I was involved in recently. And obviously there's a case of, there have been other states, California, for example, that put in absolute directives where people who lived there, I presume businesses as well, had to make changes. We haven't done that, at least not community-wide in Arizona. How do you think, just from your philosophy as someone who's so heavily involved in water, how have we been able to avoid that? And unless drought conditions get even worse than they are now, do you think we can maintain this where we're not going to try to require residents, businesses, et cetera, to say this is your limit?
The way we've developed over the last, say, 20 years, we're using much lower flow toilets, much more energy efficient and water efficient appliances. That in itself saves a lot of water. The other thing that we've done, and we're pretty innovative as a state, we're way out in front of, I think, any other state in the country, is we reuse and recycle the wastewater that we're treating. So at EPCOR, 96+% of the wastewater we collect, we treat, and we directly either recharge it back into the ground and store that for future use, or we provide that water to an end user for reuse purposes. So a great example is a golf course. The grass at a golf course doesn't care if it's coming out of the ground or it's a treated wastewater system. The grass grows great, and it's actually a better use to take that renewable resource and put it at an end use like a golf course than it is to more mine groundwater out of the ground.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. Sean Bradford, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.